Welcome to the next part. Now we are discussing orbital velocity. We know that satellites, artificial or natural, they keep on orbiting around their parent planet, but for doing so, they must maintain a minimum particular velocity which will enable them to keep on orbiting their parent planet. This minimum velocity with which a satellite, natural or artificial, must possess while orbiting around its parent planet, we call that as the orbital velocity. This orbital velocity is actually the tangential velocity which is tangent to the orbit at any point of a satellite, which is required against the gravitational pull of the earth so that the body is able to maintain its distance from the center of the earth. If the body is given this orbital velocity less than the required value, in that case slowly the gravitational pull of the earth will do some work on the body, and the shape of the orbit of the body around the given planet, it will no longer be circular, but it will be spiral in shape till the given satellite or the body come and hit to the surface of the planet. If it is given a speed more than the required value, in that case it may escape the gravitational pull and it will never come back towards the given planet. Now we are trying to find expression for this orbital velocity. Now if we have a satellite of mass small m orbiting around the earth in the clockwise direction, having tangential velocity v naught, in that case the gravitational force between the earth and the satellite, it will be gmm over r plus h whole square, which is the total distance of the satellite from the center of the earth. For revolution, satellite also requires centripetal force, which is given by m v naught square over r plus h. So if we compare both the equations, we have mv naught square over r plus h equal to gmm over r plus h whole square. So here this m get cancelled, 1 r plus h get cancelled, so v naught comes out to be gm over r plus h whole under the root. This we take as equation 1. We can reduce this equation in the form in terms of gravitational acceleration as g is equal to gm over r square. So we can write gm equal to gr square. So using this in above equation of v naught becomes equal to gr square over r plus h, which on solving gives us g over r plus h whole under root multiplied by the radius of the earth. So here you can see that if we put the value of h equal to 0, that means the body is orbiting the earth while being in contact with the ground. In that case v naught, it will be equal to under root gr, which is, after substituting the value of g and r, 9.8 into 6.4 into 10 to the power 6, that on solving gives us 7.92 kilometer per second. That means when any satellite is revolving around the earth at a distance equal to the radius of the earth, then its value of orbital speed come out to be 7.92 kilometer per second. So as the value of the height h it will be increasing, the value of the escape, this orbital velocity, will decreases. So from this equation we make one thing clear, that there is no mass of the planet or satellite occurring in the equation, which means that orbital velocity is independent of the mass of the satellite. Second, its value decreases with increase in the radius and increases in the height of the satellite. So when the height of the satellite increases, it is getting attracted lesser and lesser by the gravitational force of the earth, due to which the orbital speed also has to decrease, and moreover its value depend upon the mass of the planet as well. More the mass of the planet, greater will be the orbital velocity. If we try to form a relation at last between orbital velocity and escape velocity, we see that escape velocity was under root 2 gr and orbital velocity is under root gr. So if we compare the two, we get that ve is equal to root 2 times the orbital velocity in a circular orbit just above the surface of Earth. Let us now find the time period of a satellite, which is the time taken by a satellite to complete its journey once around the Earth. So it is the time taken by the satellite to complete one revolution around the Earth. So this will be equal to circumference of the orbit divided by the orbital velocity. So when satellite is revolving at height h above the surface, its distance from the center of the Earth is r plus h. So circumference will be 2 pi into r plus h divided by the orbital velocity v naught. So if we substitute the value of orbital velocity, time period becomes t equal to 2 pi r plus h whole divided by gm over r plus h whole under the root. If we simplify it, it becomes equal to 2 pi r plus h cube over gm whole under the root. This is the equation for time period of a satellite. We can write it in terms of acceleration due to gravity. As we already know, gm is equal to gr square. Therefore t is equal to 2 pi r plus h cube over gr square whole under the root. We can also express this equation in terms of the density of the Earth. In that case, time period will finally come out to be 2 pi r plus h cube g into 4 by 3 pi r cube into rho. This is the equation in terms of the density, which you can further be simplified as t equal to 3 pi r plus h whole cube divided by g rho into r cube whole under the root. Now revolves very close to the earth. In that case h will be 0, so t will be simply reduced to 2 pi r cube over gm under the root, which can be written as 2 pi r by g under the root, because we know that gm is equal to gr square, or in terms of density it can be written as 3 pi over g into rho whole under the root. So if we substitute the value of the radius of earth as 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 meter, value of acceleration due to gravity 9.8 into 10 to the power So if we substitute the value of the radius as 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 meter for earth, and value of acceleration due to gravity 9.8 meter per second square, in the equation t equal to 2 pi r by g under the root, the value will come out to be 5087 seconds, approximately 84.6 minutes. That means this satellite revolving very close to the earth, it completes its one revolution around earth in a time period of about 84.6 minutes, that is around 1.5 hours. By rearranging the above equation, we can also find the height of a satellite above the earth. We know that t is equal to 2 pi r plus h cube over gm whole under the root. So if we scale on both sides, we get t square equal to 4 pi square r plus h cube over gm. We can write it as r plus h cube equal to gmt square over 4 pi square or r plus h equal to gmt square over 4 pi square raised to power 1 by 3, or h equal to gmt square over 4 pi square raised to power 1 by 3 minus r. So using this equation we can find the height of any satellite above the surface of the earth. Last we are discussing geostationary, or what we also call as geosynchronous satellite. A satellite which revolves around earth in its equatorial plane with same angular speed and in the same direction as that of earth around its own axis of rotation, we call that satellite as a geostationary or a geosynchronous satellite. So if a satellite is revolving around the earth above its equatorial region, and its sense of rotation revolution around the earth is same as that of the earth around its own axis, and also the same angular speed, in this case when this type of satellite is looked upon from any given point on the surface of earth, it always appear at the same point, because earth and the satellite, they are moving with the same angular speed, so they will appear stationary to each other. So because of that, the satellite is known as the geostationary satellite. We also call as a geosynchronous satellite because there is a synchronization of the time period of the revolution of satellite around the earth with that of earth around its own axis, that is 24 hours. So this type of satellite completes its one revolution around earth in a time period of 24 hours. So in this equation, h equal to gmt square over 4 pi r square raised to power 1 by 3 minus r. If we substitute the values of various factors by taking the time period for the geostationary satellite equal to 24 hours and solve, the value of the height of the satellite approximately comes out to be 35,930 kilometer. That's approximately 36,000 kilometer, which means that if a satellite has to become a geostationary satellite so that its time period is same as that of a rotation of Earth around its own axis, it must be present at a height of 36,000 kilometer above the surface of Earth. These type of satellites, they are widely used in the communication, for the communication of radio, TV and telephone signals. They are used for studying the upper regions of the atmospheres. They are used for weather forecasting, for finding the shape and dimensions of Earth, for studying meteorites as well as solar radiations and the cosmic rays. What are the necessary conditions for satellite to become geostationary? First, it should revolve in an orbit which should be concentric and coplanar with the equatorial plane of Earth. Second, its sense of rotation must be same as that of Earth, that is from west to east, and its time period of revolution around the Earth must be exactly same as that of Earth around its own axis, that is 24 hours. And last, it must revolve around Earth at approximate height of 36,000 kilometer. Thank you.